Chapter 1. The Noise of Silence. Tara Makin was used to noise. As the founder and CEO of her own digital marketing firm in Nairobi, her life was a swirl of calls, pitches, investor meetings, and late-night coffee-fueled brainstorms. Silence felt unnatural, almost dangerous. But that Friday morning, silence met her at the door. Her phone had died overnight.
No pins. No vibrations.
Just the old ticking clock on her wall. And maybe, somewhere deep inside, that was the moment she decided to leave the city. She didn't tell her assistant. She didn't schedule it on her calendar. She just packed a weekend bag, told her housekeeper not to expect her, and drove out of Nairobi, past the traffic, past the billboards, and into the hills of Nyeri. She hadn't been there in 12 years. Since her brother died. Chapter 2. The Mechanic with a Scar. Kioni Village was small and unbothered. It didn't care about stock prices or trending hashtags. It cared about when the rain would come and whether goats were chewing on someone's maize again. At the edge of the village, beside a dusty sign that read, Nyoka Auto Fix, a man named Kamau was working under a lopsided Toyota pickup. He didn't talk much. His face carried a quiet strength, his hands a memory of fights and machines. Most people thought he was strange. Not rude, just removed. Nobody knew he used to be an engineer in Mombasa. Nobody knew he had once been married. Nobody asked. Chapter 3. A Breakdown and an Awakening. Tara's BMW groaned like it had swallowed a stone. Then it hissed. Then it died completely, right at the bend where phone signals disappeared. She stepped out in white sneakers and a hoodie with boss mode written across the chest. Dust danced around her ankles. She cursed softly. Then she saw the sign. Nyoka Auto Fix. And him. The man under the car looked up, eyes narrowing slightly. Engine heat. Maybe the radiator, he said before she even spoke.
Tara blinked.
Do I know you?
No, he said.
But I know engines. He walked over, glanced under the hood, and frowned. You drove this from Nairobi? Is that a crime?
No.
Just stupid. She didn't like him. She liked him immediately. Chapter 4. The Past Between Them. Kamau fixed her car. Quietly, thoroughly, efficiently, and refused her money. Come back tomorrow, he said. I'll test it again. She returned the next day. Then the next. By the third visit, she brought him mango juice and cashews. They didn't talk about big things. Just the sun, the road, the stubborn cow that always blocked the path. Until one evening, as the hills turned orange, she asked, Did you lose someone too? Kamau didn't answer for a long time. Then he said, My daughter. 3 years ago. Car crash. My fault. Silence.
Heavy. Clean.
Tara placed a hand on the bench. Not touching him. Just nearby. I lost my brother. Here. Motorbike. I never came back. Until now. Kamau nodded. Silence again, but this time, it wasn't empty. Chapter 5. Whispers in the Village. People noticed. The woman with the city accent. The man with the quiet eyes. Sitting under a tree sharing peanuts and stories. She's not like the others. Mama and Jerry told the pastor's wife. He hasn't smiled like this in years, said David, Kamau's assistant. But gossip is never far behind. She's rich, one man spat. What does she want with a broken man? Kamau heard. Tara didn't care. Chapter 6. The Proposal That Wasn't. You fix my car, she said one day. He shrugged. It was just overheating. You fixed more than that. She reached into her bag and brought out a box. Not a ring, but a set of blueprints. City wants a transportation tech hub. I'm on the board. I want you on the team. Kamau stiffened. You think giving me a job makes us even?
No, she said.
It makes us a team. He stood. I can't go back to that world. I've seen what it does. It builds, then destroys. So build with me. But don't run. He didn't answer. She drove off without looking back. Chapter 7. The Fire and the Call. That night, there was a fire in the hills. A shed Kamau was repairing caught flame from a faulty gas cylinder. He managed to save most of the tools, but not the documents. Not the parts. Not the plans he was working on in secret. He sat outside the ruins, breathing in smoke, feeling like a failure again. Then his phone rang.
Tara.
He almost didn't answer. But he did. She didn't ask about the fire. She just said, "I'm here if you want me to be." Chapter 8. Healing, not fixing. It wasn't romance. Not immediately. It was two people showing up, over and over. For mango season. For roadside repairs. For silent evenings watching goats climb rocks. Eventually, Kamau took a photo of her laughing. She found it later, tucked in a book. "I don't need fixing," she whispered.
No, he said.
"You need space to just be." Chapter 9. The Hub. 6 months later, Keone Tech and Transit Co-op opened with 3 employees, Tara, Kamau, and David. It wasn't fancy, but it worked. The hub supported electric bike conversions, mapped out safe rural paths, and even taught village kids basic coding. Kamau gave lectures, awkwardly but honestly. Tara wrote the grants. They didn't kiss until the day the governor visited, and Kamau, wearing a shirt 2 sizes too tight, whispered, "I'm still not used to you." Tara leaned in and said, "You don't have to be. Just stay." Chapter 10. Between the Hills and Her Heart. A year passed. Then, 2. Kamau rebuilt his home with solar power and a vegetable patch. Tara wrote a book, Wi-Fi and Wounds, building love in unexpected places.
They weren't married.
But every Sunday, they sat under the tree where they first talked. "Do you regret leaving the city?" Kamau asked once. "No," she said. "I just regret not coming here sooner." He took her hand. In the distance, children laughed. And above the hills, silence finally became music. Chapter 11. A Stranger at the Gate. It was a Wednesday morning when the stranger arrived. Dust on his boots. A leather bag in hand. Sharp eyes that scanned the tech hub like he was measuring its worth. He asked for Kamau. When Kamau stepped out, the man smiled coldly. "Took me a while to find you, partner." Tara stood still. Kamau's shoulders tightened. The man was Lenny, his old co-founder. The one who'd sold their company and left Kamau to take the blame after a government contract went wrong. "I heard you're back in business," Lenny said. "Figured you owe me something." "I owe you nothing." Lenny smirked. "The world doesn't forget what we were, Kamau. You don't get to run into the hills and pretend to be holy." Tara stepped forward. "He's not pretending." Lenny turned to her. "And you are?"
Someone who knows who he is now.
"Not who you broke him to be." Chapter 12. The Letter She Never Sent. That night, while Kamau fixed an old lantern, Tara sat alone in her office and opened her laptop. She wrote a letter to her brother. The one she lost. The one who used to ride through these hills with her on a borrowed bike. "Dear Kivo, I came back. Finally. There's a man here. He's been through fire. Like me. I thought I'd forgotten how to love without fear. But somehow, this place, the dust, the goats, the quiet, reminded me. You'd have liked him. Love, always."
Tara.
She never printed the letter. But she kept it, just in case her heart ever forgot how far it had come. Chapter 13. When the power goes out. The hub's solar batteries died one evening.
No lights.
No fans. No tech.
Kamau cursed softly.
David panicked.
Tara les candles.
Then, like magic, the whole village started to show up. Mama and Jerry brought a hurricane lamp. 2 kids brought dry wood. The pastor's son brought a speaker that ran on old AA batteries. They turned it into a night of music and story. Kamau watched Tara dance barefoot, laughing with the children. He whispered to himself, "I never thought joy could look like this." David heard him, smiled, and whispered back, "She's your recharge." Chapter 14. Ghosts of the City. One morning, Tara had to return to Nairobi for a major investor meeting. 3 days. Just 3. Kamau didn't say much when she left. But on the second night, he couldn't sleep. The stars looked unfamiliar. The bench was colder. In Nairobi, Tara wore heels again. Lipstick. Blazer. In the boardroom, A male executive looked her up and down and said, "You're glowing, Ms. Mockin. New skincare?" She smiled.
No.
New soil. She returned to Keone on the fourth day, early. Kamau didn't say anything, just hugged her tightly in the middle of the compound. Then whispered, "Next time, I'm coming with you." Chapter 15. One chair, two lives. Kamau built a chair. One of those old-school, wooden, heavy kinds with carvings on the armrest. He placed it under their favorite tree. The next morning, Tara found it with a note. "We spend so much of our lives standing for survival. Sit with me for peace." She sat, then stood, then found him inside the hub and kissed him without a word. They didn't need many anymore. Chapter 16. The first rain. Rain came hard that season. It flooded some farms, damaged a few roads, but in Keone it meant life. Tara and Kamau watched it fall from the porch of his rebuilt house. She held a cup of ginger tea. He held her hand. "Did I tell you my brother used to dance in the rain?" she asked. "You're allowed to do that too." She looked at him, then stepped into the yard.
And danced.
Like she was home. Chapter 17. Old enemies, new peace. One day, Fola, the woman Kamau used to call wife, showed up at the hub.
She was older now.
Still sharp, but tired in the eyes. She asked to speak with him. Tara watched them from afar. Didn't interrupt. Later that evening, Kamau said she apologized. For everything?
No.
Just for enough.
Tara nodded.
And didn't ask for more. Because sometimes, healing isn't a war. It's a sigh. Chapter 18. The sound of mangoes falling. It became a habit. Mangoes would fall onto the tin roof of the tech hub around 4 p.m.
It always startled David.
It always made Tara laugh. One day Kamau said, "That sound reminds me of you."
How?
Unexpected.
Loud.
Sweet. She threw a mango at him playfully. He caught it with one hand. "I'm serious," he said. "So am I," she replied, stepping closer. "You remind me of home. The kind you build, not the one you're born into." Chapter 19. What the mirror said. Tara stood in front of the mirror.
No makeup.
Just her skin, her eyes, her real self. She looked happy, but not the social media kind. The deep, quiet, rooted kind. She thought of every fight she had fought to become this woman. Then walked outside, into the sunlight. Kamau was waiting on the porch with 2 cups of tea. She sat beside him. "I saw my reflection today," she said. "Did it like you?" It did. Chapter 20. A name on the gate. The villagers noticed the new sign before anyone else. It said, Mockin Kamau Foundation. Tech, Tools, and Tomorrow. Underneath it, founded in peace. Grown in love.
Kids asked what it meant.
David said, "It means they're not leaving."
Mama and Jiv smiled.
"It means they're staying. For good." Tara and Kamau didn't announce it. They didn't make a speech. They just showed up, hand in hand, every morning, with blueprints, grease, dreams, and mangoes. And Keone? Keone embraced them the way hills embrace the rain. Softly, fully, without question.